Hi, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Founder Stories podcast. Today, we have a very special guest from Ileria Company, a health tech startup on a mission to revolutionize CPR training and emergency response. We are sitting down with Mr. Amir Bathaei, the co-founder and CEO of Ileria, in order to talk about their story, innovation, challenges, and even the future of life, saving life, actually, technology. Thank you so much for joining us today. And before we dive in, for those who might not familiar, could you please tell us briefly about what Ileria is and what your startup does?
Okay, thanks for having me today here. Hello, everyone, those who are listening and watching us. So I'm Amir, and from Ileria, as you said. And what Ileria is doing is Ileria is a medtech startup based in here in Tampere, in Finland. And what we are doing is, as you said, revolutionizing the first aid. So our ultimate goal is to save 200,000 lives within this decade. But for the next decade, we will revolutionize and we will come with a personalized CPR tool. So what we are doing is fundamentally changing and transforming this industry. So we have one gadget, one device, which is IoT based, it's smart, and it helps in real time to perform CPR and triples chance of survival after cardiac arrest. But it's not our first or last product, and we are still ongoing with the R&Ds, and we are producing every day.
That's nice. Sounds great. So let's start from the beginning. You have been working on this mission since 2018, and I want to know how did the idea for Ileria begin, and you realized that okay, CPR innovation can actually grow into a real company.
Okay, so it's a long story since past 7 years, and I should say that it goes back to 2016, actually before Ileria was founded. I'm a mechanical engineer, and originally I'm Iranian. So what I was doing as a mechanical engineer, I was studying the future of mechanics and what fields the mechanical engineers should follow. And what it was, normally everyone was mentioning about the energy sector. So I started with the energy field in Iran with my first startup named Smart Energy Audit. Uh, it didn't succeed. The second one was NES, Natural Energy Storage. That after relocation to Finland, I saw some similar startups to that. So we failed that too. So you know that in Iran, energy is very cheap, and it's one of the largest resources of the fossil fuels in the world globally. So as a result, it was a perfect innovative tool and product, but in the wrong market. So we decided to, I should say that, completely go out of the energy market. And I just in 2018 went back to that statistics and that study that what mechanical engineers are going to do in next after, I should say, that energy sector. And it was normally all of them was related to health sector. So this time, after 2 years of let's say fatal uh, mistakes for the my two startups, I started focusing that where the money is going, what's the real pain of the market, and everyone was talking about cardiovascular disease. Today, cardiovascular disease cost globally is beyond trillions. So I just said I will focus on this part, but I came to the let's say merging point of all cardiovascular disease, which is cardiac arrest. So in that case, we moved with that, and we ended with the CPR solutions. So it's a whole story before funding of the Ileria.
It's really amazing story. Thanks for sharing your story with us. I think it's really great that because I think many of people stressed every day. So it's really great that see a company focus and cares about how we feel. And about Ileria, Um, from my perspective, the name Ileria and your visual identity convey a sense of movement and peace. I would like to know why did you choose this name, Ileria, and does a special story behind that?
Well, yes, for after 7 years, yes, definitely. Ileria is a rebranded name.
Mm-hmm.
So our first name and the name that we moved with that was Beat Life. Beat Life was related to beating the lives, and it was directly related to the CPR field. But we moved with that after some geopolitical things happened in Iran. And we were known as one Iranian startup in Iran. We received lots of attacks, I should say that, and lots of cyber attacks from, let's say, dear Ukrainian people who had some let's say challenges with the government that was out of our control. But we were seeing them, and we didn't wanted to move with that. So after moving to Finland and relocating from the company, we decided just to rebrand because we didn't want it to be known still with that brand. And we had a very good reputation with that brand, but unfortunately we did that with sacrifice, Beat Life. So we came with the ileria.com, which first of all, the domain was free. So cheap domain, I should say that. And second one, the name I checked in those days, we had LLMs in 2023, thanks ChatGPT. I checked over 100 languages around the world, and it had no negative meaning. So I said, it's the second positive one. So the ileria.com is free. The second one, Ileria, doesn't have any negative meaning. So then we started beating around the bush and making one story how we can relate this to healthcare. So Ileria today we call it is related to hilarious happiness. What is the Finland known for? So, but in plus, I should say that 100 languages, it has very positive meaning related to health and good way.
That's nice. So you had a strong reason in order to choose the name of your company, Ileria, somehow. And I know that your journey wasn't straightforward. You went through many prototype versions and even failure before reaching the medical grade device, as you mentioned too. Uh, and I'm sure that during your journey, you faced a lot of difficulties and you had to find the best way in order to make it better and solve it. What has been the biggest technical or emotional challenge in building a life saving medical product?
Well, as a mechanical engineer, our emotions are really tied to technique, I should say that. So it's a very challenging question to respond. I can say start complaining a lot, but one of the most, I should say that challenges was related to, I should say that geography. The biggest challenge for me was the geography that was really putting lots of barriers on my path. And normally people are asking me that aren't those making you burned out? And I always say that I will make them burned out. So I should say that one of the most critical and technical challenges was related to some uh, unethical fake sensors that we bought. It killed about 9 months of our time in the building of the device. The second one that was really costly for us in Iran, our startup was medtech, and we had the guidelines, we had the certifications from the Food Drug Administrations that was based on the FDA, which is coming from USA. So after moving to the EU and coming to Finland, we found that those certifications are not valid here. So as a result, we were not able to sell as a medical device. And on the other side, we needed to raise funds. And we raised from our previous angels that had invested in our company. But what we did after that was we tried to launch it to the market as a training device and not as a non-medical device. So it was I should say that one of the biggest challenging parts that killed about 1 year of our lives just for something that I cannot defend, I should say. Uh, it was my mistake in the assessments, and it's not defendable, but it was one of the biggest challenges that we faced. And today we have somehow overcome to that, but still the effects are there. But the good point is that in 2026, after July holidays, it will be hopefully total done.
Yeah, that's great. Based on your journey, could you please share a memorable moment, something that stay in your heart from that journey?
There are lots of them. I would say that one of the best parts was the day that we bought our factory.
Mm-hmm.
We in the we had revenue, we had money in the bank, and it was really sweet. So we went and we bought a piece of land, and we started building our own factory. So it was one of the, let's say, sweetest parts for me. It was, if I say it just, because I would love always to mention that it was 2,238 square meters. So for me, it was a very large building, and we built that. But when we were moving to Finland, we sold everything, and we moved, and we here we started building everything from scratch, from zero. I should say that somehow even minus, but after 18 months living and building here in Finland, we built. But after moving to Finland, I would say that the one of the sweetest part was that we saved one life here. So what happened? It was in September. I was going from platform 6 to my house, and I was walking at night with my colleague, and we saw a person have collapsed on the face, and we called the ambulances. But as we knew CPR, and we had the device with us, because the day after we were going to show the device in the Sudan Sarala in the heart hospital for the pilots, and it was a really fortune, I should say that, just a luck story. So we had the device with us there, and the person was collapsed, and we saved one life there. So today we are happy that for our vision to saving 200,000 lives, we have saved the first one during pilots.
Yeah, that's nice. And Ileria's CPR technology is very advanced, and I know I've noticed that you use AI in your application. And but today's many people think that AI is cold or scary even. How did you make it feel friendly or helpful for those people who think such way in such way?
Well, if we go back to the statistics, 8.2 billion people are living in the world, and just, I think, until end of 2025, if I do remember correctly, plus 600 millions are using AI as a daily basis. So still billions are not using, or do not have access, or do not feel like, let's say, uh, comfortable with AI. Probably we face it even in the some personality of our customers too. So it's a something that it's always, let's say, technology adoption challenges. And on the other side, I would say that in for us, AI is magnifying everything. So it's still, we have the challenges of using that. We haven't overcome to that, and there are lots of personal factors affecting the decision making. We see that in our customers. For example, in one of the cases, I do remember that. So in some cases, we face some people who are technology phobic, maybe. So as in some cases, we face them as a customer, as a trainees, as a instructors, as a decision makers in the value chain of the CPR training, CPR adoption. So still challenge exists. We haven't overcome to that, but we see that in some cases people are afraid of that. In some cases, people are loving that. But normally, what, based on my experience, normally people plus 65 years are not adopting that. So understandable why. So it could be tricky even in the sales process to the customers, mainly in our model, which is B2G and B2B model. So still challenges exist. and we are trying to solve that.
Yeah, maybe in the future, after they figure out about the positive point of AI, maybe they change their mind about it's scary or
Just I would say that from the perspective of Tim Cook, the CEO of the Apple, AI is magnifying everything. Actually, said that in one of the speeches in the Stanford University related to the I do remember related to mobile phones, if I uh, remember correctly, or it was internet. So 10 years ago, he said internet, or let's say technology, is magnifying everything. It can help in the ethical parts go faster, grow bigger. At the same time, in the unethical parts, it can help and
yeah,
support to grow faster. So it's just magnifying. It depends on how we use that. Today, we
exactly.
see that in the current situation that there is lots of use of AI for propaganda. So
Yep.
as a result, I would say that it's just magnifying. In our case, it's helping for democratizing and standardizing the training of the CPR. So, for example, if I mention about our tool, what we are doing is that we are giving access to AI and we send metrics of the performance of the CPR of all users, same to the AI. And OpenAI and other APIs that we have from other companies are assessing them, comparing them with the guidelines, and providing tips and analytics. So, regardless the skin color, nationality, geography, people are receiving same quality of the training with our tool. We see even in here in Finland, like for example in Pirkanmas region, just CPR trainings are within the SPR center in Tampere. So what if the person is somewhere else? What if? So I would say that it is same for every trainee, so people could train themselves, and it's helping to train millions. And our goal is to train 2 million people by the end of 2030. But I would come back to other side that in some cases it's generating vast and crowded amount of data, which normally I see the rescue departments are scary about the GDPR and others, which is valid, but still some considerations there. So those amount of data could be tricky. So it depends on who is deciding to use that.
Yeah. How would you describe what makes your device unique? I mean, what is the magic behind the real-time CPR feedback?
I would say that we are fast. The magic is we are fast and we are adopting the technology and revising uh, very fast. If I see the competitors' products in one of them, I should say that the market leader has two revisions of their products, and the last design is coming from 2012. So if we go back to 2012 technology, it was totally different than what is here today. We can imagine what it was. So as a result, we are fast and the magic is there. So we do not, let's say, we do lots of trials and errors with what is coming newly to the market. We added AI to our tool just in January 2026. And within this building in Platform 6, a startup house, people have seen that how we fastly develop our tools. So I would say that the magic is that our team, after 7 years of working together, is in the optimum size that is fast and flexible. So I would say that our magic is team. Else that everyone can do what we are doing.
Yeah, you're right. And you have multiple products coming up from the training device to the real-time CPR monitor and even new generation technology. What product do you feel will have the biggest impact on saving lives? I know that it may be a difficult
Yes,
question.
it's a very interesting question for me also. But I would say that our second product. because the second product have one impact that will result in our third product, and that is very very tricky. I want to take the time for that if we have to mention that. uh, Look, today the guidelines of the CPR are saying that every adult globally should be receive CPR same. So it means that a lady who is 55 kilogram plus 70 years old should be treated the same way that an athlete, a person, a man who is 25 years old, bodybuilder plus 130 kilograms weight should receive CPR. Both deliver CPR 5 centimeters depth, 100 to 120 pushes per minute. So in our first product that failed, we wanted to build an automated CPR machine. So I started designing the device, and I found, okay, this machine should go 5 centimeters depth. But when I wanted to test it on myself, I thought, okay, it's maybe not enough for me, or could be too much for me. This question arose for me, and I just started asking the experts. They said guideline says 5 centimeters. You should follow it. And I started sending hundreds of emails to those who have drafted and designed those guidelines. And at the end, they said we don't have data. So I would say that our second product, which is coming back to market as medical device after moving back from Iran, it is gathering the data. What it is doing is that it is recording the data of the CPR. On the other side, it is post CPR. We ask the nurse and performer of the CPR to give us the data of the patient, and then we link it together. So we are building a data set, first data set of the CPR globally that will end in personalized CPR. So it will save millions of lives, and it has global impact even beyond the Ileria's third product, which is a intelligent rescue robot that we will be built on based on our data set.
It's really great. And as you mentioned, you are based at Platform 6 here in Tampere. Uh, how has being part of Platform 6 supported your growth in terms of connections, talent, or mentorship? And how is the vibe there?
Well, as we are mentioning to the word ecosystem, that has very deep meaning. And here in Platform 6, we see a ecosystem. When we are mentioning to ecosystem, I would say that it means every single component are acting their role in the right time, in the right place, in a right quality, I should say. So it's like an ocean. It's sustainable. So when it's moving on, but if something is not right, it will be like an aquarium that needs cleaning each week. So here in Platform 6, I would say that we have, in some cases, in some sectors, the ecosystem. In some industries, I see there is a value chain growing very well. Um, Unfortunately, I was not here in Finland in the days of the Nokia's, let's say, shinings era. So I haven't seen, and I cannot compare it with those days. But if I say it's in optimum size, Platform 6 is in optimum size, which is moving well, moving well. So still needs to grow, but it's moving well.
And what kind of supports or collaborations have you found here? In this community.
I would say that the best one was the soft landing service. So I moved to Finland on 15th of September 2024. First day, it was Monday. The second day was Monday. I just rested. Third day, I started my work here. So I would say that Finland has one of the fastest adoptions process with the help of this soft landing for the international founders. So it's a good aspect of Finland. If you compare it with other countries like Canada, Belgium, uh, Sweden, even Australia. So when you're moving to a country as a foreigner, as a international founder, what's it important is how fast you can adapt to that. And Finland and Platform 6, International House Tampere, I want to mention Mr. Murat Demirez. He's doing very well in that side. So he's helping founders to adopt fast. So before coming to Finland, before one month before coming to Tampere, I knew who are the key players, who are the people working here. So it helped me grow fast. It's a good sign. After that, it depends on how founders are pushing forward and how they are working hard. Still, it doesn't mean that everything is excellent. Definitely, if I start complaining, I can talk 2 days. But if I go from other sides, that's what are the positive aspects. There are a lot again. But at the end of the day, I would say that totally it's positive.
Yeah. And we know that every startup goes through challenging phases. I want to know, what do you do when things get really difficult, and how do you keep your team motivated?
We normally watch strategically. There is a common saying in the strategic management that two people were talking together and one grizzly bear started following them. One of them starts uh, taking on the shoes and start to run, and the second one says that you are not faster than a bear. But the first one says, I don't need to be faster than a bear to stay alive. I just need to be faster than you to stay alive. So always there are dark days in the history. There are positive days and shining days in the history too. So I should say that as Iranian, you know that Iran is for 5,300 years country. So if something happens, normally we do not panic. So in a rainy days, in a hard days, first point is that to keep calm. As also here in Finland, the president says, I really love that word that says Finns are cool, calm, and collected. So it's a true way, I should say that, and it's a true trick and tip to do not panic, keep calm, collected, and cool. I would say that. So as a result, it's helping to make it right decisions to solve the challenges. So after 7 years of keeping Ileria alive, I would say that it was the right point. So the combination of the team, people in the board, they helped us to stay collected, calm, cool, and not panicking when something unwanted happens.
Yeah, and I myself really like this part. Your aim, your goal, your mission is bold. Saving 200,000 lives by 2030. I want to know that what is your strategy for reaching this goal, and where do you see Ileria 1 year from now?
Okay. Just I don't want to mention the, let's say, companies' strategies in detail. Just I would say that we have one plan that's and also, let's say, a tactic. That tactic is keeping right now the flaws of the competitors' products silent. So there are some flaws in the market that would end in recalling the products, and we have counted on that very well, and we are planning for that and very well executing for that, I would say. So one of the tactics is that in 2028 there will be a evacuation of the service in the whole EU market in our industry, and we are preparing and we are increasing our production capacity for that day. So as a result, we will be able to take the about 20% of the market. We have a very well plan. Today, I have another meeting after this event with some of the key partners in Italy. The next week, we have some of them with US. So we are, let's say, increasing very tactically and strategically our partners. Today we have, up to now, we have four, I would say, signed partners out of Finland. Two of them are in US, one of them in Dubai, and another one in Sydney in Australia. Yesterday we shipped to Australia our second part. So what is happening today to reach that 200,000 lives is very technically and tactically, I would say that very well planned and moving well. So as a result, even in the case that people from out are not seeing that, internally we are really very well moving with that.
And based on your journey, based on Ileria's products, are you open to collaboration with hospitals, universities, and medical institutions?
Well, definitely yes. Definitely yes. We will be proud, we will be honored, and we are collaborating with them. And we will be welcoming more collaboration from all over the world, from the other cities of the Finland, Sweden, Estonia, and those who are watching, people who are watching this video or listening to this podcast. I'm in person. I would say that inviting them to become our, let's say, sales. Not, I don't want to say sales representative, but I want to say that become our representatives at least in their cities, because it has a very good impact. And at the end of the day, I would say that internally in Finland, we are helping to increase the first aid preparedness level of the whole country. So not just with the claims, not just with guesswork, with the very measured tools and based on the data, not just a claim.
Yeah, that's fine. And the last part, these days many people have business idea and they want to have their own business and make their idea and turn the idea into a real business and real company, but they fear and also they don't know from where and how to start. What advice do you give to someone who wants to start a business but is scared to begin?
It's a hard question based on the person. Giving just one word to, let's say, all problems, but I would say that alone you can go faster, but together you can go far. So make a good team, then try to grow the team, not in a number, I mean, not in a way that's reaching necessarily to 100 people's team. Grow the team very well and trust on your team. So it's, I think, the most important fundamental of that. Still, it's not valid for many cases. These days we see lots of solo founded startups, even near to becoming unicorns. We see some of them are being sold to 70 million, 80 millions to bigger companies. So with the help of AI, teams are still being smaller, but at least having a team or, let's say, mentors. So start doing that. I don't want to use the Nike's brands, just do it that, but I think still it's valid for even a startup founders.
Yeah, this is the correct point that they have to start without thinking about the consequences, just start and continue. Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you so much for dedicating your time and sharing your story. And it is really great to see how the Ileria is using tech for good. And to our listeners, please go check out ileria.com and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.